Hello everyone, and welcome to my review of the brand new Al Pacino movie, Danny Collins. Now this film is inspired by a true story, but I would say it is very inspired, extremely inspired, extremely inspired, and I'll get into that just a little bit. What's the movie about? Danny Collins is a film about a man named Danny Collins, played by Al Pacino, who is a very successful songwriter, singer, performer, has the life, has the house, has a great manager, been married a few times. He's going to be married again. His fiancée is a lot younger than him. And he's celebrating his 18th birthday. And his manager gives him a gift of a letter that he probably should have gotten a long time ago, back in the 70s, from the late, great John Lennon. And he reads this letter, and he decides he's going to make some major life changes. Get rid of the fiancé, get rid of the drugs and alcohol, and for some reason go to New Jersey. Now, I knew that this movie was inspired by a true story, and now having watched it, it's definitely extremely inspired. I think the only thing that's really true about this movie is the fact that some guy who was a very famous singer and songwriter did get a letter from John Lennon back in 30-some years ago, and so they've really elaborated on that idea and created this whole story. Now, is it a good story or is it a bad story? This has an extremely amazing cast. We have Al Pacino. We have Bobby Cannavale, who plays his estranged son. We have Jennifer Garner, who plays his daughter-in-law. We have Christian Plummer, who plays his manager. We have Josh Peck, who plays the guy that works at the hotel. And we have a hotel manager who's played by the lovely Annette Bening. So there's all this amazing cast of characters and actors and actresses that we all love. But was the movie good? Is it something worth seeing, even though it is very inspired by the trueness of that original idea? Yes. Yes, it is. And I give that an emphatic yes. It does have its issues, and I will get into that just a little bit, but Al Pacino hasn't been this good in such a long time. I can't remember the last time I really loved an Al Pacino movie. I don't know what he was thinking about when he did Jack and Jill. Maybe the money was coming, and now that movie to me is just so bad it's good. If you get a bunch of friends together, watch it, enjoy it, and just all question why Al Pacino's actually in the movie. But Al Pacino's great. So what if he was in Jack and Jill? He's in so many great movies in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and today. And I think this one is another great example of his talent. Yes, there's moments in the story that are manipulative. I felt like it was being manipulated too. It's a little heavy-handed in some moments, very predictable in other times, but I think the material, which I think is written okay and good, is really elevated by these fun and exciting moments in the movie. The chemistry between all these characters, you really care about Al Pacino's Danny Collins character. You really care about him, even though he could buy anything he wants, and the way he does try and get the love back from people that are not in his lives. He has to use the money, and he does it for good purposes and for good reasons. And I felt like that was really genuine of his character. He seems like he's not trying to be selfish anymore to evaluate his life. I like that whole idea. And even finding out at the end, stayed for the end, during the credits, they'll show you the real person. His name's not Danny Collins. The real person, and I didn't feel like I didn't feel cheated after watching the movie. Sometimes when you see a true story or it says inspired, and then you find out what the real story is, and you feel like a little cheated. But I think that the idea of this singer-songwriter getting an amazing letter from one of the greats, John Lennon, really was a good idea to fuel this interesting character-driven piece. And in this film, there's lots of amazing music written by John Lennon, and it was just really nice to hear that. I thought it was used well in the right moments. This is a film from new director Dan Fogelman, who also wrote Crazy Stupid Love and worked on some Disney movies. I think this is a solid directorial debut from him. I really like him as a writer, even though some of the things in his in his filmography I'm not really a big fan of, but love Crazy Stupid Love. Love some of the stuff he worked on at Disney. I think he worked on Tangled. Love Tangled. But I thought this was solid. It's very R-rated when it comes to the language. I felt like sometimes, because Danny Collins' characters... Danny Collins' son... Let's say... Okay, sorry. Danny Collins is a grandpa. Danny Collins is a grandpa, okay? And so there's some bad language that's kind of used around this kid. I do want to mention that I love the kid in this movie. She had some social issues, and it really made her more human and gave her amazing personality. I really hope this kid, this little girl, has a future in the business. I think she was very funny she was very funny and endearing, and I liked her. I liked the rest of the cast. I liked this story overall. I didn't mind that I was being manipulated a little bit at times because I enjoyed the experience. It was very funny. I got emotional a few times, and I left the theater just feeling great. And that's what I want. That's what I want when I go see movies like this. I want to feel great. I want to feel good about life and about humanity, and it's an amazing story. The whole idea, I would love to see a documentary about the real... Now that I've seen this, this inspired story, I would love to see a real story, even if it's a documentary about the real guy who got this letter from John Lennon years ago and didn't find out until years later. That would be really cool. But I highly recommend, if you can find Danny Collins in a theater, please check it out. It's definitely worth seeing, especially if you're a fan of Al Pacino and you want to see a really great performance by a really great actor. And for that, I am going to give Danny Collins, I'm going to give the film a slight 3.5 stars out of 4. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.